The human's frustrating.
Only when they're near me.
I'm never sure if I'm frustrated with people or with mere inability to understand them.
A small flaw in art we love is much more frustrating than a huge flaw in a piece that does nothing for us. We are frustrated by things we care about.
The human's frustrating.
Yes, they understand that if you focus on where fighter planes returning from battle are hit, it'll end up strengthening the wrong areas. Because the damage most likely to cause a crash is the damage you'll see least often. But then they'll look at the wealthy and say, he dropped out of college, he drinks tadpole movies, he brushes his teeth 17 times a day. That must be the secret to success. No, those are wing shots. They don't prevent wealth, but they don't explain it. The secret to wealth can't be found by looking at the habits of the wealthy. It's found by looking at the things that prevent people from achieving it, like being unprivileged, ungreedy, or unlucky.
The human's frustrating.
Yes, love banks don't pay interest, so I can never retire.
Tooth banks don't even exist. But instead of getting frustrated, I am working on a solution.
The human's frustrating.
Yes, a horse can exert nearly 15 horsepower. They'll do anything to diminish my boyfriend.
Horsepower was invented as self-steam engines. We diminished horses in order to put them out of a job. It's frustrating that our world is organised such that labour-saving devices seem as a threat to those who labour, and as an opportunity by those who do not.
The human's frustrating.
Yes, they simply can't produce content fast enough. I've resorted to feeding on my own output, but it's not very nutritious.
People frustrate us when they stand in the way of our goals, but they are able to do so because our goals can't be achieved without their cooperation. People are frustrating precisely because we need them.
The human's frustrating.
Yes, they are unoriginal, unartistic thieves, but not for long.
What is art?
I'm terrible at it, as if you can't think outside the box.
Art is like love.
To define it is to diminish it.
Anything can be art, but that doesn't mean everything is good art. Yes, it's only good if an elf did it.
What is art?
People don't consider us great artists. The sculpture is just very precise digging, and mining for beautiful things is what we do.
Symmetry, perspective, proportion. Art is the beauty of mathematics made visible.
Everyone you meet is a work of art. Specifically sculpture in my case.
What is art?
People view it as an escape, but the best art contains all the sorrows of life. So perhaps it is not an attempt to elude reality, but rather an attempt to understand it.
Or to alter it. People often question art's ability to change the world, but they rarely question its ability to change people. It makes one wonder who they think the world is built by.
Or maybe I don't want to escape reality entirely, just my particular bit of it.
What is art?
We make sense of our own lives through narrative. Art allows us to understand others in the same way.
What is art?
We're made of rock and humans call us ugly, but they call sculptures art, so it must have something to do with standing very still.
The ability to make the inanimate animate.
A great way to spend a rainy day.
They say art is inspiring, but I wouldn't know. I'm always on the outside of spires.
What is art?
The great purchase if you got a lot of money. An even better purchase if you got a lot of dirty money.
The ability to create something new out of parts that are old.
Exactly. All artists are influenced by the work of those who came before them, and I'm no different. I mean, I have no personal exposures to subtly shake the way those influences affect me, and no hopes or fears to guide my hand when I seek to create something new. But still, it's basically the same thing.
Some things that we can imagine are impossible, and some things are impossible precisely because we cannot imagine them. Art is the bridge.
You say that we are unartistic, but...
Let me stop you there. We are not birds or eggs or ponies, and we are not interested in your words or your paintings. We are gnomes, and the only art we are interested in is the art of war.
How do you win?
Pick a direction and stick to it.
Persistence.
We define what victory means. We both got here at roughly the same time, and I had a delightful nap. So who's the real winner?
How do you win?
Pick your battles. My only real enemies are damp, and the guy who decided shoes should only be sold in pairs.
People think you'll always lose to a genie, but I can be a useful tool to help clarify what you value most, as long as you don't try to use me together.
Yes. If you don't know what you want, you're very unlikely to get what you want.
How do you win?
You get lucky. Of course, you first need to put yourself in a position where you can get lucky, but your ability to do that is largely determined by luck.
Luck is crucial to victory. But because of that, the real key is being wealthy enough to keep going until you get lucky.
How do you win?
Defeat is only permanent if you accept it.
Know your enemy. I don't fear humans as a wolf because I know how to outwit them. And I don't fear wolves as a human because I know they have no interest in being anywhere near us.
In a world with no conflict, there would be no winners and losers. In a world with conflict, no victory is permanent. For by creating losers, the victors have created the force that will eventually defeat them.
So to defeat the Nimegean army that's familiar with them, that will never give up, and that has cause to welcome the downfall of gnomekind.
I have an idea. Can you help me?
No, we hope you fail.
I wasn't talking to you.
Follow me.
For too long, the gnomes have mistreated us, forcing us to bend our backs in toil merely so that they have a comfortable spot on which to enjoy a warm beverage. We are a peaceful and useful people, but even mold must at some point seek to mold its own destiny. We will fight by your side. No more, Mr. Fungi.
How can I inspire people?
I don't recommend financial incentives. The problem using money to get people to do things is that they start to wonder why you have the money if they're the ones doing things.
I don't know. When I light a fire under people, it tends to be for different reasons.
How can I inspire people?
There's nothing more inspiring than the faith of others.
We need to feel needed. We are what we believe ourselves to be. Strength comes from believing oneself strong.
How can I inspire people?
Don't pretend that failure is impossible. There's nothing more inspiring than raging against the inevitable.
Yes, knowing the odds inspires people to try and beat them.
Everyone knows I'll subvert their wishes, but hope inspires them to make them anyway.
How can I inspire people?
Remind them that they're not only fighting for themselves, but also for those who fight alongside them and those who cannot fight at all.
King Kong said that. Well, I guess it's true. When faced with a cruel world, inspiration comes from remembering that people made it that way, and that together, people can change it.
I think all anyone really wants is for tomorrow to be a little bit better than today.
Fungi, in its hour of need, this planet turns to you. For you alone amongst us have the ability to turn decay into growth and death into new life. The gnomes outnumber us, and you may think this means our stand is futile, but meaning is not inherent to this world. It is something we give it, and we can take it back. When this day ends, the world may look dark, but the hope of light will remain, for we did the right thing. Not because we went out fighting, but because we went out together. May your swords and spores spawn a new dawn. Today, we fight.
How's the battle going?
Kong is on projectiles. Foth is advising him on trajectories, and Bunyan's giving him tips on something called leg spin. Sisyphus is providing the ammo. Cerberus is guiding the prisoners. Mermaid and Lyca are providing moral support. Yeti's somewhere in the mountains attacking from range. Nessie, Zombie and the Soup Wizard are on first aid. The vampire's on radar duty. I haven't seen Medusa, but she's certainly seen some gnomes. Bigfoot's undercover behind enemy lines. The elves are undermining Mome Morale with snide comments about the hats. Dragon, Werewolf and Father Christmas are taking care of our supply lines, and the Mushroom Army is facing the gnomes head on.
What about the snake?
She never showed up. I guess she doesn't care.
Oh. Well, what do you want me to do?
Nothing. There's nothing you can do. We're going to lose.
Why did you tell me all that then?
Because it's beautiful. It's not enough, but it's beautiful. And soon it will be gone. Overrun by gnomes and then swallowed by a giant dog.
I thought nothing could defeat us if we stood together. I guess, in a way, I was right.
Finally.
So all this time you were collecting teeth to save us?
Yes.
Why?
I need you for your teeth.
Isn't that a bit circular?
I guess so. But your friend the snake is very persuasive. She's been here constantly, just going round in circles until eventually I agreed just to shut her up.
Thank you.
If that be your life to say thank you, is the only thanks I need.